Hello, everybody, and welcome back live here on the World Racing Network for tonight's broadcast of the National Sim Racing Association Beer Street Journal Grand National Series here live once again on this Thursday night short track. Thursday night here from Gateway, a personal favorite of mine. Love Gateway, and it's going to put on a great race for us all to watch here tonight. Hello, everybody out in the chat and watching at home. I'm Mitchell Adams, and I'm going to be with you once again on this Thursday night for tonight's race number 7 of the NSRA Beer Street Journal Grand National Series season. It should be a good one here. Gateway, like we said, a short track that's very unique, very difficult track for these drivers. We'll touch more on that as we get a little further into tonight's race, but as you can see there, practice just getting wrapped up here, and we're going to roll into qualifying momentarily. Philip Scott, the fastest car tonight here in practice. Jason Gracias was second fastest. Ira Kohlhaas third fastest in practice. And as the field goes to get qualifying, we'll take a look and see who will come out on top in race number 7. Last time we were with you 1 week ago on Thursday night, we were at Michigan International Speedway, and it was the number 1 of Jason Gracias, who you see right here picking up his first win on the season. The defending series champion finally picked up that win. He's been so close to getting a couple of times, and he's going to be looking to back up that performance once again here tonight at Gateway. But Gateway a lot different than Michigan, where we were at last week. Last week you saw speeds up around 180 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour. Tonight, they probably will be braking about 160 into the corners, so not quite as fast, but heavy on the brakes around this racetrack. As you see Jason Gracias there starting his first lap of qualifying, and we'll wait for those times to trickle in on the board. But let us know who's all watching out there in the chat. We've got a poll up in the chat asking if you're ready to watch some racing here tonight. I know I sure am. See what kind of time Jason Gracias can put down. A lot of other drivers out on track also. Number 99, Philip Scott, fastest in practice. We've seen him super good on the short tracks this season. Philip definitely going to be one to keep an eye out on. Second fastest in qualifying, at least on the first lap. Jason Gracias on the pole. We've taken a couple looks here at Martin Plute. He's slowed down there on the backstretch. Here's Noah Owens in the number 88. Ira Kohlhaas as well in the number 29 was looking fastest in practice. Steven Lachensky in the number 15 in a Monster Jam car. I like that car. Out there just completing lap number 2. That one not going to get the job done. He'll remain in 6th, at least for the time being. It's Jason Gracias who remains your pole sitter for the moment, at least. Drivers kind of getting their qualifying runs wrapped up here. The number 49 of Bryce Hunter. The Dr. Pepper number 49. I absolutely love this paint scheme. I know I've mentioned it quite a few times this season. That number 49 is sharp looking car here. Got a couple more drivers out on track as well now. Sam Kohlhaas in the number 28 out taking some qualifying laps. Fred Lester in the 12 also out for qualifying right now. 971 of Nate Maurer just pulling out onto the racetrack. Let's ride on board with Nate a little bit and get a sense of a lap around Gateway. And that is a lap around Gateway. That's kind of what these drivers are going to be dealing with. It feels very fast, and you could kind of see the difference in between turns number 1 and turn number 2. Turn number 1, a lot sharper, narrower, a lot more braking down in 1 and 2. Drivers in 3 and 4, you kind of roll through it a little bit more. It's a bigger turn. People have described this as a mini Darlington kind of racetrack because the corners are just so parallel opposite to each other. As Nate Maurer comes across the line to complete lap number 2, that one's gonna that will be faster, but he remains 8th on the speed chart. 12 drivers have taken time here in qualifying, and it's about wrapped up here pretty soon. Number 49 of Bryce Hunter still out on the racetrack, taking some practice laps because he has completed both practice laps and he sits on track 6th in qualifying. He's also the only driver out taking laps, so it gives us a little something to look at here up in the booth. To see Ryder out in the chat saying go Phillip, Will Radcliffe out in the chat saying let's go. And let's take a look at that poll we had going here out in the chat. See how you all responded to the poll. Everybody says heck yeah, ready to watch some racing. That's the spirit here, as qualifying is going to wrap up there, you see, and we're going to take you through tonight's starting order for race number 7 of the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series season. At Gateway, it's going to be Jason Gracias in the number 1 machine, starting from the pole. It'll be Philip Scott in the 99, waiting for drivers to pop out on pit road. Here they come. Kind of nice to look at the cars while we're reading them off here, but like we said, Jason Gracias in the 1. Last week's winner going to start from the pole. Then it's the 99 of Philip Scott. The driver has been so good on short track, starting in the 2nd position. And it's Martin Plute in the number 4 machine, starting in 3rd. Starting 4th is Adam Pettit, and 5th is the 88 of Noah Owens. In 6th is the number 49 of Bryce Hunter. 7th is Ira Kohlhaas. Starting in 8th is the 971 of Nate Maurer. Starting 9th is Jeff Price in the number 14. Starting in 10th is Sam Kohlhaas, and that takes you through your top 10 here. Then starting in 11th is the 15 of Steven Lechensky. In 12th place will be the 12 of Fred Lester. In 13th is Justin White in the number 2 machine. 14th is Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal machine. And rounding out the field in 15th place is the number 69 of Dominic Tesoro. Wrong Tesoro there. And that takes you through your 15-car starting grid here tonight from Gateway, waiting for that iRacing pace car to get rolling off. Let's see out in the chat, who do you think is going to win the race tonight? Who are you looking at to take home this 160-lap event? Johnny Williams out in the chat saying good luck all, and hello to the booth. Hello, Johnny. I hope you're having a good night here. I certainly am, as I get to spend my Thursdays up in the broadcast booth. Get to watch some great racing with you all. Never hurts anything. As there we go, Jason Gracias is going to start leading the field down the front straightaway. And he will start from the pole here in tonight's event. Looking at your overall point standings, Jason Gracias, after winning last week, is up to 13th in standings. That is a 13-position gain in the point standings. So not a bad day's work for Jason Gracias. But it's Adam Pettit in the 17 who still leads the points coming into tonight. The only driver so far with multiple wins on the season. He comes in with a significant lead, 132-point lead over Mike Floppy Tellier, who is not here tonight in that Hello Kitty machine. And then Philip Scott is 3rd in points. Josh Sobel also not here tonight, 4th in points. And Nate Maurer in the 971, 5th in points, and that is the top 5 in points. Coming into tonight was Adam Pettit out in front, looking to extend that lead with Mike Tellier not here tonight, but for some of those other drivers, that's a good chance to capitalize and gain some points as the iRacing pace car off of pit road, and we are getting ready to go racing here from Gateway. Jason Gracias waiting for that green flag. There it is. He is on the loud pedal, and we are racing from Gateway, or as it's formerly called, Worldwide Technology Raceway. That's what's shown up at the top of your screen there as Jason Gracias gets a good start through turn 1. Martin Plute able to slot into 4th, but it's the 17 of Adam Pettit up in that high lane fighting with Noah Owens. He's going to clear Owens into turn number 3. Good start for Pettit. lineup there of Ira Kohlhaas fighting in that outside lane. It can be really difficult to make that outside lane work because Gateway 3 and 4 is really just flat, and it really, from my experience at least, I've never driven these Beer Street Journal cars here at Gateway, but when I ran here in Truck Series, the Friday night NSRA Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, that inside lane was where you wanted to be in 3 and 4 because it was just hard to get the momentum rolling as Kohlhaas jumps back down to the inside lane now, getting pressure from the 14 of Jeff Price as well. Jeff Price had a good run here, trying to build some positive momentum up in the series. Bryce Hunter there got really close to the wall down the straightaway. Will Radcliffe said voting for Phillip as always. Phillip Scott runs in a solid second place right now, but Jason Gracias has extended that race lead quickly over the National Ninja League 99 car. Already out to about 3/4 of a second over Phillip Scott, and there's a big gap still in between Phillip Scott and Martin Flute, who runs in fourth. And really throughout a lot of the field, you have to go back here to the battle for fourth place between Martin Flute, well, not Martin Flute, I was going to say between Adam Pettit and Noah Owens, but Pettit's kind of scooted away a little bit from Owens. Of course, he got into that corner a little bit hot, and that opens the door for the 88 of Owens down the back straightaway, but he got a little squirrely out of turn number 2, and that's going to allow Pettit to hold that position for the time being. Jeff Price continues to pressure the back of Ira Kohlhaas as well, not giving him much of a gap, although Kohlhaas got a great run there through 3 and 4. Going to be close to Noah Owens in the 88, not able to quite challenge yet, but this group of cars here, about 4th through 7th, putting on a pretty good show for us here in the early laps of this one. Looking for some other good battles here on the racetrack as well. I think these are the closest ones we are getting. Justin White here toward a little further back, running 14th, trying to run down that 28 of Sam Kohlhaas, who has 29 on the car here tonight. It looks like, no, that was just me not being able to read numbers. Elementary education is very important here, folks. That Pepsi machine, I feel like maybe a slightly different Pepsi paint scheme. I could be wrong about that, but either way, battle of the sodas so far being led once again by Mountain Dew. Ira Kohlhaas having a good run. Bryce Hunter and Dr. Pepper not too far behind, and like we pointed out, in 13th place is Sam Kohlhaas. So sodas right now are running 6th, 8th, and 13th. If you are a fan of the battle of the sodas like I am, of course I kind of shove it down your throats whether you like it or not here, because it's fun to talk about. Jason Gracias, though, not too worried about that. He has over a 1-second lead now over Phillip Scott right now in that 99 machine. Phillip having a great start to the race here, just unable to keep up with Jason Gracias, and we'll see if Jason is able to maintain this pace over the course of the run here as we ride on board with Phillip Scott in that number 99 machine into turn number 1. You see in here, Phillip Scott's actually shifting through turn number 1 and 2. We'll see if he does any kind of shifting through 3 and 4. We'll get a little bit into that too. That's something to talk about. Yes, he did. There you heard the RPMs change. Here he's going to upshift right there. That is interesting, folks. Let's see if Jason Gracias does the same thing here. That car's a little bit louder as we hop on board. Alright, so drivers are downshifting tonight. That is not something you see very often here. But basically what that is doing for the drivers who do that, it helps to rotate the car through the corner. Creates more RPMs and gets the tires turning a little bit faster, and that kind of helps these cars get turned. So interesting to see drivers doing that here tonight. We'll see if they continue to do that as the race goes on as well. Johnny Williams out in chat says, wish I was doing better, but my blood sugar is over 500. Well, we hope you get feeling better, Johnny. We're certainly wishing you the best here from the World Racing Network, and of course Will Radcliffe echoing the same thing. Philip Scott, fastest car on the racetrack, though, that last time by for all those Philip Scott fans. They're really arcing that corner. You see them diamond off the corner into turns 3 and 4. Well, let's see if they do it in 1 and 2, and we'll get everyone alert on the World Racing Network blimp. We might dial them up here in just a moment, get an aerial shot of kind of the line these drivers are taking, because like we said, an unusual track. It's kind of uncharacteristic, very unique. We'll see here in turn number 3 and 4. You see Jason Grassi is going to enter down there on that white line, really lets it float up the racetrack, and then ducks it all the way back down to that white line to get off the corner. That is diamonding the corner really to perfection. You don't see much better use of that technique than you do here, and they're doing the same thing here. I think, no, Gracias actually held that bottom line. Philip Scott there did it in second place, but something we don't usually see used effectively at most tracks. Usually it's better to just take more of an arcing line. You see people do it at Richmond, sometimes Bristol, but that's what they're doing here tonight, and that helps the car turn on exit. It really helps you get that exit speed. Of course, so does arcing the car in high and going low, so you never know. Battle going on here, starting to form up just a little bit, I believe. I believe wrong, kind of, but 17 of Adam Pettit and the 88 of Noah Owens. My scoring was showing them a lot closer than they actually were. On the lookout for some good battles here on the racetrack to give us something to watch, so you all don't have to listen to me talk for a while. Here's one. Stan Hausman in the number 39, the Beer Street Journal car, and the 28 of Sam Kohlhaas back here battling for the 14th position. You see a different approach here from these drivers back here. Hausman running that white line all the way through the corner. Kohlhaas kind of entered higher, but then kind of did the same thing through the center. So different techniques drivers using here at Gateway. We'll ride on board a little bit with Stan Hausman as he really arced that corner too. Yeah, might have actually opened up the door. No, the 28 of Kohlhaas wasn't able to take advantage of it. And yeah, let's ride on board a little bit with the Beer Street Journal machine. That was a little on board with Stan Hausman. Again, very unique racetrack here at Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway. Not like much we go to, and you kind of see that here on the racetrack. Up front, Philip Scott starting to reel in your race leader, Jason Gracias. Little by little, we'll take a look at the head-to-head graphic here. You see Gracias just lost barely any time to Philip Scott. About 2/100ths of a second was the time lost. So not very much, but if he keeps doing that, Philip's going to inch closer and closer. And these two have run. This is really impressive. Jason Gracias is 6 seconds ahead of third place runner right now, Martin Plout. He pulled out 6 seconds in 18 laps. That is incredibly impressive from driver of the number 1 and the 99. Don't want to leave out Philip Scott here. He's keeping pace with Gracias And right now has been a little bit faster. Wasn't that last time by, but right now these two TNR racing drivers really setting the pace for the field. Nobody else quite able to match it here. Adam Pettit actually has gotten around Martin Plute for the third position, so move Pettit now up onto the podium. Martin Plute, you see him running all the way up to the wall, and Tyler Belanger now here with me in the booth. Tyler, it's been a really interesting race so far because drivers picking a lot of different lanes. We've seen drivers holding the bottom all the way through, diamonding the corner, and we're seeing the 17 of Adam Pettit kind of go all the way up toward the wall. It's kind of been all over the place, but like we've been saying, Jason Gracias and Philip Scott really setting the pace here tonight.
That's impressive to see them with that big of a lead. By the way, it's good to be back again. I apologize for being late. But to have a 6-second lead over the rest of the field right now on a track like this, where it's definitely a skill driver track. It is not an easy track to drive. You got to let off really early on the back stretch and front stretch to make these corners. But to have a 6-second lead already is pretty impressive. So, like you said, you got the two leaders up here within a half a second of each other. It does look like Philip is catching him a little bit. I didn't get to see what he did earlier on in the race, but that 99 car looks pretty strong, and we might have ourselves a battle for the lead here in the next 5 or 6 laps.
Well, this is really how they've run all race long. Jason Gracias started first, and he's extended that lead to over a second. It got close to a second and a half, but now Philip Scott slowly starting to reel Jason back in. I think he's been a little more careful with those tires, and it's starting to show at this point in the run. The 88 of Noah Owens and the 14 of Jeff Price also have a great battle going on right now for the 5th position. Jeff Price gets the run there out of turn number 2, up the inside of the 88. He has a really good run, a lot of momentum, and he's actually going to clear Owens almost into turn number 3. You see there, Jeff Price finished that pass, but Jeff Price talked to me a little bit at one point. Let me see. I believe it was last week where I'm pulling up the race finish. Yes, it was. Last week at Michigan, Jeff Price really not finished like he wants to run. He only had one top 10 finish, and that was 10th. Going into last week's race at Michigan, he pulled a 2nd place finish out. So Jeff Price, he talked to me, really wants to start getting that momentum going again as the season gets going. And he's definitely a great race car driver, and hopefully he gets it going in the right direction here. And good run at Gateway so far as well.
It certainly looks like he's getting that momentum in the right direction like he wanted to. Sitting here in 5th place is pretty impressive right now. So he did make that impressive pass on Noah Owens for 5th place, and he's gonna set his sights on Martin Plute up there in 4th place. He's got a couple seconds to go though, so it might take a little while.
Yeah, and you see all so close between Bryce Hunter and Nate Maurer down the back straightaway. Hunter has that position now over Nate Maurer. Nate tried to take it back there, but gonna have to slide in behind that 49. And you see that again, that Rookie of the Year stripe on the back of the 49, that yellow stripe. Racing for $100 at the end of the season are the rookies here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series, and Hunter leads the battle of the sodas right now. So Dr. Pepper having a good showing here at Gateway, but looking back up at the front of the pack, Philip Scott starting to fade back just a little bit more from Jason Gracias. Tyler, do you think Philip kind of burnt his stuff up trying to catch Jason a little bit?
Yeah, when we were watching him before we went to the other guys, it looked like he was running a slightly higher line than Jason Gracias. So I wonder if that chewed up that right side tire, particularly the right front, just a little bit. You saw him catch there for a little while, but he's definitely fallen back. Looks like about a 10th a lap now. So he needs to settle in, cool those tires down, and try to make another run for it. I'm not sure how many laps that they have on fuel, but I'm sure he might start to look into a short pitch strategy and jump ahead and get that lap led.
I do know they are running full fuel tanks here tonight at Gateway, so I have to imagine they've got quite a bit of fuel in those race cars and might be able to split the race at about lap 80, honestly. At short tracks, they can go for a while on fuel, so that would be my assumption. We'll have to wait and see. They are also working here tonight with resets of tires, so that is plenty to work with here as we see Jason Gracias down on the rumble strip, using all of that inside he can get to try and get around this racetrack. And Stay Tuned Sports out in the chat saying, "What's up, everyone?" Hello, Stay Tuned Sports. Glad you're tuning in here tonight.
Well, and it looks like we have a battle heating up for third and fourth. Adam Pettit has been caught by Martin Clute, and he is getting ready to make this pass on third place.
Yeah, Adam Pettit passed Martin Clute earlier in this run. It looked like he had a good longer run car, but now Martin Clute trying to fight back here down the back straightaway. You're exactly right. Took a little bit of time once again to kind of cool those tires off, settle in, and now he's caught up to Pettit, who had kind of run out a little bit with that third place. As Philip Scott's fallen over a second back now as well of your race leader, Jason Grassi. So this is the best battle on track at the moment we're looking at. You do also have the 971 of Bryce Hunter and the 971 of Nate Maurer, who got back around Bryce Hunter in the 49, and these two continue to battle as well. And watch Ira Kohlhaas in the 29, not too far behind them either. We're going to keep our eyes for now up in this battle for third place. And Adam Pettit, only driver to win multiple races on the season. Strong run here so far for that Anything EC machine, but almost 10 seconds off your race leader. I cannot emphasize that enough up here, Tyler, how fast these race leaders are.
Yeah, it's impressive how much more speed that they have over the rest of the field while saving the tires. You can tell some of these guys, 5th, 6th, 7th place, they're struggling on the tires a little bit. Something you do have to do here is you got to be patient passing. You got to get exactly what Martin Clute's doing. He's right on the bumper of Adam Pettit, and you almost have to wait for them to mess up, because if you try to press hard and you get below them, they can run that middle groove pretty well, and you'll eat your tires up trying to make a pass. So kind of just got to keep yourself in position and wait for them to overdrive a corner and take your opportunity when you can, like he's doing right now as he dives down and hopes to clear right here.
Martin Clute, yep, dives it up the inside, made it stick. I was worried he was going to slide up the racetrack into that 17, but he did a great job holding that inside, and he is going to take back the third position over Adam Pettit, but we'll see if it'll stick. We've seen drivers really, if they're racing and they're close in pace, once the run goes on for a little longer, that driver behind just seems to gather up more pace and gets back around. That's what we've seen Nate Maurer and Bryce Hunter doing back here. We've seen Martin Clute just do that to the 17 of Pettit. Checking in on that battle back here in the pack, Nate Maurer has scooted away quite a bit from Bryce Hunter now, but the 49 and 29 of Kohlhaas going at it pretty good for the 8th place position on track. Also a good battle between the 69 of Dominic Tesoro and the 15 of Steven Lachensky. They are side by side. The 15 of Lachensky trying to take that away in the Monster Jam car. I really like Steven Lachensky's paint scheme here tonight, Tyler. I think that was very good looking. Justin White and Stan Hausman also going at it side by side. So much action to stay on top of now. Stan Hausman in the number 39 Beer Street Journal machine, trying to take it away from White, not able to do it there, but that Beer Street Journal car looking fast here. There's a lot of battles going on now all at once.
Yeah, going back to Ira Kohlhaas, he had that pass completely cleared and then slid up the track and allowed Bryce Hunter to get back to his outside, and Bryce cleared him back. So that's a really good battle they got for ninth. I know it doesn't seem like a lot when there's only 15 cars on the track, but when you get spread out like this, you got to maximize every opportunity you have, especially if this is going to stay green. You're going to go through green flag pit stops, and that's just going to be more ground you lose if you're farther back and start getting risk of being a lap down.
If every position here is important in these races, you got to battle for any spot, whether it's the lead 7th, 15th, or 21st. Every spot is important, as we see Hunter going all the way up to the wall, testing out that high line. Didn't seem to work out great through the corner. We'll see if he gets the run, but like you said, if we were to get a caution, that's one spot difference going into pit road, and that could make up the difference, making up a couple spots or not. If we were to get an untimely caution, you're stuck behind somebody, or, you know, you need a wave around. So every spot is important here, and these drivers in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series do a great job of racing really hard but keeping it clean, and that puts on a great show for us as we see Kohlhaas dive it back up the inside of Hunter into turn number 3, taking advantage of the 49, testing out that higher lane. Kohlhaas says, I don't think that's working out so well for you.
Yeah, and if we look back to the front of the field, Jason Gracias has just put Sam Kohlhaas in the 28 a lap down, so he is now entering into lap traffic, so this is going to get really interesting on some of these guys going a lap down. Maybe they make a different strategy call and try to short pit and hope that it stays green, or they stay out longer and try to get that lap back.
I do believe we have somebody going down pit road. I'm trying to get a visual. I believe it's the 88 of Noah Owens is actually down pit road for a pit stop. Owens was running in the 6th position when he pitted, so interesting to see a pit stop this early. I wonder if it's scheduled or not. Not quite sure, because I feel like lap 36 really early to be making pit stops. But Dominic Tesoro also down pit road here.
Yeah, that does seem pretty early for a 160 lap race, but you never know what they got going through their mind and what they want their car to do. But this might drag a lot more people down onto pit road for sure.
Sam Kohlhaas also down pit road. I like to say that I'm a broadcaster, not the crew chief for the driver, because, you know, I sit up here and I'm like, man, that seems really early to make a pit stop, but there's always a reason they do it, whether it works out or not. So we don't mean to be too judgy up here and be like, oh no, you're doing the wrong pit strategy down there, but I am curious to see how that plays out for those drivers, because it's a lot earlier than I would have expected to pit, and the 28 remains down pit road. Actually, some damage on the right side of that car might have gotten up to scrape the wall, and again, you see that yellow rookie banner on the back, racing for $100.
Oh, we got our leader coming down pit road right now.
I
don't mean to cut you off, but he is coming down. This is going to be really interesting because they only have 3 sets of tires, like you said, so this does seem really early on to be making this pit stop.
I agree, and they have to have more fuel in the tank than 40 laps, because 40 times 3 is 120, and I know the National Sim Racing Association wouldn't give them less tires than they need to finish a race, so maybe they think that if they pit early here, they can maybe split the 120 laps they have into the end into 260 lap runs, and that saves a set of tires. I'm not quite sure the logic of this, but Philip Scott is. He's coming down too.
I have run in leagues where you actually do have to save a set of tires on a lot of races. So I haven't seen that with this league yet, but if that's the case tonight, that might be what they're doing. They're pitting now, filling up on fuel, and keeping the tires on, so they save that set for a potential, you know, the last run of the race.
Yeah, I usually like to have a set of tires in the bank when I am racing, but back on track, this battle for 3rd place between Martin Plute and Adam Pettit has turned into the battle for the race lead as Pettit gets the run on the high line. And something I haven't touched on, and I'll talk about it again when they go down the back straightaway. I don't know if you've ever raced here at Gateway, Tyler, but the wall down the back straightaway, it kind of opens up and goes away, and then when you get into 3, it comes back. You have room to go up, but then you have to get back down or else you hit the wall. I say that as someone who did it in practice once. It is easier to do than one might think, as Martin Plute's actually gone down pit road now as well. Ira Kohlhaas, Bryce Hunter, and Stan Hausman all down for pit stops.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on this one car right now to see what he runs for a lap time to give me an idea if he took tires or not. This lap time right here was a 34.7, so that tells me he definitely took tires.
Yeah.
So they only got 2 sets left, so this is going to be very interesting on strategy, unless there's something that we're missing. If they truly only had 3 sets, they're down to 2, and they pitted with less than 40 laps on those tires. So it'll be really curious to see how this plays out.
Well, Nate Maurer is down pit road as well. I'm as confused as you here on the pit strategy. I think what is happening is they're doing a little bit more of a complex strategy than my little broadcaster brain can comprehend here. As Adam Pettit goes down pit road, I just have to think that they want to split that second run in half, is my guess. I have no idea because, I mean, you are making up 2 seconds extra a lap. That is a lot at a short track where the lap times are about 35 seconds-ish for a lap. But still, it's an interesting strategy, and you'll have to stay tuned here on the World Racing Network to see how it turns out. Gotta get my little shameless plug in here. As Adam Pettit pulls into his pit stall and turns the race lead over to Steven Lechensky here.
Yeah, and Adam Pettit just coming in for the pits now. He stayed out about 7 or 8 laps longer than those initial leaders that came down pit road. So now you got Steven out here leading. You're right, that is a nice paint scheme that he's running. We'll see if he stretches this out longer. It appears he's going to try a completely different strategy than those guys that pitted early. So he's going to want to stay out and hopefully catch a caution or just remain on a completely different strategy, because if he pits now or anytime soon, he's going to lose a ton of time on track.
Yeah, Fred Lester down pit road as well. You lose a ton of time here by staying out this long. You know, when you're gaining 2 seconds a lap after pitting, if you stay out for 10 laps.
Coming down now.
Yes, I think this is going to cycle through the pit cycle as well. Once Steven Lechensky gets out of the pit stall, and already Jason Gracias is around in that number 1 machine, so give him the race lead. And unfortunately for everybody else in the field, Philip Scott lost some time to Jason Gracias in that round of pit stops. He's now about 2 seconds behind, and then you go 12 seconds back to find Martin Flute. So Jason Gracias nailed that pit cycle.
Yeah, he did. He gained about 1.3 seconds on pit road throughout, well, maybe not on pit road, but throughout that whole cycle. So he's looking good. This needs to be the time that he really saves those tires. If I'm him, I'm taking it easy and I'm utilizing that lead I have. I'm making second place work hard to catch me, and then if he gets too close, you can really turn it on from there. But this gives him a really good advantage to really be saving the tires earlier on this run, especially knowing he only has 2 sets left. He needs to be very careful, but he's in a good spot right now.
Yes, and having that 2.5 second gap now over Philip Scott really gives him more of an ability to save tires versus when he was running about half a second or a second back. We saw Jason Gracias have a lot of short run speed, but Philip Scott was starting to take advantage of it there before they started pitting. So this gives Jason a lot more of a chance to focus on that long run speed, because presumably they're making a longer run here than they did on that last cycle. We'll have to wait and see when they come down pit road again, but I would think they would be running about 60 laps this pit cycle versus the 40 they did there.
Yeah, if they don't, I'm really not sure how they're going to make it to the end. But you now see there's only 11 cars on the lead lap, with Dan Hausman right in front of Jason Gracias. So we're about to be in a position where there's only 10 or less cars on the lead lap. Very early on in the race, too.
Yeah, and Stan Hausman is battling with the 49 of Bryce Hunter. Those two, the last cars on the lead lap, and them fighting has really helped the number 1 of Jason Gracias, who you see there on the right side of the screen just coming into frame. That's really helped him catch back up, and Hunter is still trying out that outside lane. Doesn't want to give up on it. I haven't seen anybody else run that outside lane like he has, and there you see the number 1 of Gracias get around Hausman. Gonna try and do the same thing quickly here to Bryce Hunter. Right now, Jason Gracias working through the lap traffic too. That will help Philip Scott.
Yeah, but what Jason wants to do is clear these guys quick. He doesn't want to, they're all on fresher tires, so he doesn't want to get into a battle with one of these guys and use up his stuff. So the quicker he can put these guys behind him, as you see the 49 moves up the track right there, kind of gives him the spot. The quicker he puts them behind him, the better it'll be for him, because they're going to be fighting for that lucky dog spot behind him, which is actually going to put Philip Scott at a disadvantage. They're probably not just going to move over like they just did for the leader, but Jason being able to pass them like that without using up really much tire. That's going to help him a lot.
Now, Philip did gain about 1 second while Jason Gracias was working through traffic, but then again, Philip Scott gonna have to work through them too here in just a little bit. So it kind of goes both ways when you're in that situation. But like you said, Jason Gracias doing exactly what he wanted to do, got through them pretty clean and didn't waste a lot of time. And most importantly, like you said, didn't get racing with them, didn't burn those tires, because you can save tires all you want, but as soon as you start racing side by side with somebody, that all goes out the window because you heat those tires up so much, as Philip Scott has now about caught them down the back straightaway, just a couple car lengths behind.
Yeah, and it does look like Philip has gained about a half a second on Jason through this run so far. I'm not exactly sure how hard Jason's pushing right now. I imagine he's taking it a little easy, but it is noteworthy that Philip has caught him a little bit. But back from that point, you're 12, 14, 21 seconds back to 5th place. That is just incredible at a track like this.
Yeah, I know, usually top 5, you're really fast. And not to say Adam Pettit here running in 5th place, Jeff Price in 4th, Martin Plute 3rd. All these drivers are not fast, but Jason Gracias and Philip Scott just have figured out something else here tonight that has made them so much faster than the rest of the field. You see Noah Owens and Nate Maurer battling really hard for the 6th position. Owens just slid way up the track trying to dive it in, and that gives it back to Nate Maurer in the 971. But this battle, I have a feeling, just getting started. We saw Nate Maurer involved in a battle, really good battle for a lot of laps during the last run with the 49 and 29, so Nate's had a lot of racing here. Everybody else has kind of been strung out, but there's a couple of these drivers who just cannot seem to avoid somebody else on the racetrack.
Well, and typically you would think sitting in 6th place right now, you'd be in a pretty good spot, but in all honesty, he's only about 10 seconds ahead of the leader right now to going a lap down. So this stays green, you might get to the point where there's only 5 cars on the lead lap, and that's not going to bode well for anybody a lap down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jason Gracias and Philip Scott, we're just around the 1/3 race distance. 5th place, Adam Pettit is 22 seconds behind. It's only 35-second lap, so they're on pace to lap at least the top 5 right now by the time this thing is done, if not more. They could theoretically get all the way up to Martin Plute if they keep going at the pace they're going. Plute runs 3rd on track at the moment. It's just very interesting complexion to this race, because really you have the battle for the lead between Jason Gracias and Philip Scott, and then you have the battle for 3rd, currently held by Martin Plute, but Jeff Price in the 14s doing a good job trying to run down Martin Plute. He's kind of cutting away at that gap slowly but surely.
Well, and it looks like Jeff jumped the spot through the pit cycle, because I don't believe he was in front of Pettit. I believe Pettit was 4th. So he's doing really good. He's moved himself up to 4th from 9th. When we checked on him earlier, I think he was 6th or 7th. So he's moving his way up through the field pretty well. He could be eyeing a top 3 by the end of this.
It's certainly not out of the picture for Jeff Price. He is going to have to go through Martin Plute to get it, though. Martin Plute had a pretty good run last week as well at Michigan. He came home with a 3rd place finish at that track. His first podium of the season, first top 5, but coming off a strong run last week, doing the same thing here tonight so far, trying to replicate the podium finish. Same thing as kind of Jeff Price, has been kind of in and out of the top 10 throughout the season. Had a good run last week, trying to build that momentum back up once again here as we're kind of getting into the middle part of the regular season. This is when kind of all the work goes in. It's not the flashy part of the season, I guess, Tyler, where at the beginning, it's the beginning of the season and we're really figuring out who's a contender and who's not. And then we get toward the end of the regular season and the playoffs, and, you know, that's exciting because it's the playoffs. But this part is the season I've always found kind of the most important, because it really sets you up for that good playoff run later down the road.
Yeah, this is the time where people might get a little relaxed knowing that it's mid-season. They don't feel like they have much to fight for. in comparison to the beginning of the season where you want to get every point, or the end of the season you're trying to get those bonus points. So you can take advantage of a few of the guys kind of being mulled down in the middle of the season. But I was taking a look at Philip Scott. He's lost a lot of ground to Jason Gracias. He's sitting 3.8 seconds back now, so he might have had a little bit of trouble getting through the lap traffic compared to Jason, like I was talking about earlier. So now he's back to 4 seconds. He's losing quite a bit of ground.
Yeah, Philip Scott's struggling just a little bit with that race car, it seems like. Losing some time also to Martin Ploot. Of course, he's about 10 seconds in front of Ploot, but Martin Ploot in the 4, we were talking about fastest car last time by, barely over Jason Gracias, but he was fastest on track, and Philip about 0.3 of a second off your race leader, Jason Gracias. We'll see what happens this time by between the two of them. Philip just a little slower once again, about 0.5 tenths. It's not much, but Jason Gracias is slowly creeping away from Philip Scott here. I just wonder if Philip is saving a little more. Jason Gracias was able to save a little more early, because at this point last run we saw Philip closing in on the 1.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about at the beginning of Jason coming out of the pits. He had the ability to really save his tires and manage that gap, and it looks like that's exactly what he's done as he continues to build the lead bigger and bigger. Now, Philip did gain a few tenths that time, but if we take a look at Jason's trying to pass the 28 of Sam Kohlhaas going 2 laps down. So lap traffic not too big of a deal right now. Everybody on the track's pretty spread out, but Jason Gracias is in the driver's seat. Just smooth sailing. He's got nothing to stress about. He's got a few cars between him and second place. I don't see anybody very close to him. Now he's got almost a whole stretch before he gets into the next lap car, so looking good.
And I do think Philip was maybe listening to us just a little bit, because not this lap, but the last time by, Philip was actually the fastest car on the racetrack. So he's still got speed in that number 99. He just has a lot of work to put in to catch Jason Gracias. And we've talked about it. This is really a driver's track here at Gateway. Very unique. It's like a mini Darlington is what we've referred to it as. Very technical. And it's just kind of the best drivers tend to show up at these tracks, or some of the more technical drivers really do well at these tracks. And that's Jason Gracias here tonight. Just has found just that one thing that makes the track click and makes your car faster, and he's really starting to take off even from Philip Scott. I did notice, Tyler, earlier in the race that I'll go back on board with Jason actually and see if they're still doing it. Early on they were shifting here tonight.
You read my mind. That's exactly what I was just looking at. I was listening to Jason, and Jason is shifting. So isn't Philip. But the difference I noticed is Jason is shifting a lot earlier in the turn, helping that car rotate in comparison to Philip. Philip drives in and waits until he gets almost about mid-turn before he shifts. And what that will do in comparison to Jason is it won't help the car rotate as much. So it can put the car a little bit more on edge in Jason's circumstance when he downshifts and has the higher RPMs versus Philip, but it will help the car rotate a lot by downshifting earlier if you can handle it. And it seems to be that that's the advantage that Jason has over Philip, is the earlier shift. Now, I haven't checked any of the other cars. I don't know if they're shifting, but yeah, based off of how far back they are, it would make a lot of sense if they were not shifting versus just these two who are shifting.
And short tracks are already very difficult, very technical to drive, and that just adds a whole other piece. Oh, caution.
Caution is out. Well, that'll shake things up.
Yeah, throw away that 20-second lead, Jason
Everybody
Gracias.
needs to crack their neck and their fingers. That was a long green flag run. They need to get ready to make some strategy calls now, because they're almost at the point, the same amount of laps as the first run before they pitted, so that'll be curious. But
yep, this wreck, we're looking back. I believe this was around 7th or 8th. You got the 15. That camera wasn't great. You got a lot of glitching, I guess, went into that one there. You saw the 15 of Lechensky blink out there, and then it looked like the 49 was well inside his bumper, actually, before they ended up wrecking. A little bit of an unusual one, but there was definitely some contact between the 49 and the 15. You see Lechensky's gone. There he comes back on track. He is in the 49, and then a couple seconds later, wrecks into the wall. That will put us under caution for the first time here tonight at Gateway, and like you said, changes everything. All that gap the leaders have built up now gone.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was much that the 49 could really do there with what was going on with the 15. As we have Jason is down pit road, Philip is also down pit road, and Martin Clute. So it looks like all the leaders have pitted. I'll be curious to use that second set of tires. They'll only have one set left. That would be a long ways to go with only one set of tires left. They're not even halfway through this race yet.
There, I found it. I was jumping around cameras a lot on everyone here at home, but don't want to forget the Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award, the first one we've gotten to give out tonight. It's going to Dominic Tesoro, driver of the number 69. Going to get back on the lead lap thanks to Brookstone Animal Hospital.
That'll put 10 cars in the lead lap, so that's really gonna benefit Tesoro for obvious reasons, but you got a couple fast guys too that are back there a lap down, so we might see some good racing to be in that Lucky Dog spot, especially knowing they're gonna have to get it quick. If we get another long green flag run, they want to make sure that they're in position where they get a good gap on the rest of the lap down cars.
Yeah, definitely. You have to race hard if you're in those positions, because we had a 65 lap run to start the race off. You might not have a lot of cautions to get that Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog, so you've got to fight for it now if you want to get yourself back into this race. I'm looking to dial up. I found him here. Pace car lights are still on, so I think that gives us a chance to talk to Jason Gracias. Jason, it's Mitchell and Tyler in the WRN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I'm sure of all the people in the field, you were the one who didn't want to see that caution, but you've got one fast car here tonight at Gateway.
Yeah, the TNR boys back to shop, prep 2 extremely fast. Number 1 and number 99, NSRA Xfinity Mustangs is out here tonight, so track position was key, so Dirty Air is stronger than I thought it would be, but we're trying out here.
Yeah, how much are you and Philip talking? I know you're teammates and you're on the radios together. How much are you communicating kind of your lines and what you're doing to get around this track that's made you both so much faster?
Most of the conversation came in practice. In the race, we're just trying to figure out how to navigate lap traffic. So most of the talking went on during the race. During practice, during the race, I prefer to be quiet just so I can focus. Philip's the same way.
And I see pace car lights going off here, so we'll let you get back to your race car here, Jason. Best of luck to you moving forward in this race, almost halfway.
Yeah, thank you, Mitchell, and I hope everybody at home is enjoying the chat. Everyone, give WRN a like and a follow and a subscription.
Well, thank you for doing the little shameless promotion for me there, Jason. I'll let you go. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And that was Jason Gracias, who's taken the high line here for this start, Tyler. That's a little bit of an interesting decision because we've seen the bottom be, I think, the more preferred line to pass here tonight.
They're teammates up front, so they might be working a little strategy where the car on the outside gets a little jump, comes down, and they're both sitting 1-2 and not really having to battle anybody. So we'll see how that works out. But like you said, that is interesting that he did choose the high lane. Either he's working with his teammate, or that's where he feels comfortable that he's going to get a good enough jump to get into turn 1 with the lead.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they're playing some kind of a game or not, but green flag is back in the air, and it was a great jump for Jason Gracias headed into the first turn. Going to get well clear of his teammate Philip Scott in the 99, who's going to have his hands full with Jeff Price and Martin Clute there battling for second. Good start for Price.
Yeah, it was a pretty good start from 14 there, as he almost got to the outside of Philip Scott in the 99, and he's going to continue to run that high lane. It looks like he's running higher than anybody else on the track tonight. So you see the 4 car gets in the middle, but the 14 will have to run off. We'll be curious to see though that high lane can really eat up those tires if he's consistently doing that in comparison to everybody else on the track. So he might want to move down now that he's really cleared the 4, but he keeps running that high lane. He slips up a little bit there before he gets a good run on him.
Yeah, and battle for the lead starting to form up here. Philip Scott knows that Jason Gracias is very fast in that one, and we heard Jason talk about how important track position is, so I expect Philip to race Jason really hard here in these opening couple laps of this run versus the last one. And one thing to highlight on, they came down pit road, Tyler. They're running 34-second times. Assume they took tires. We have over half the race to go, and they only have 1 set of tires left in the pits.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's going to work at all, but they definitely all took tires. The 14 back there, he is struggling. He overdrove that turn, lost the spot to the 4 car. He got real squirrely up there, and then overdrove again and almost rear-ended the 4 car and had to check up on the brakes pretty heavy. So he slid back and forth. He needs to calm down a little bit and not heat up those tires, and settle in and start attacking once he feels a little more comfortable.
And he has a good gap back to Adam Pettit in the Anything EC number 17, who runs in 5th right now. So Jeff Price, just take a little time, settle in. You're running 4th. You've got some good track position. Just go take it easy on those tires and keep your car up there. Philip Scott not letting Jason Gracias get away at all, though, and these two starting to run away just a little bit from the rest of the field. You see the 28 of Sam Kohlhaas here, that he is 1 lap down right now. Martin Flute here in the number 4 machine is the driver running in 3rd place as he works under Kohlhaas through the turn. We have 11 drivers on the lead lap right now. We did have a couple as well took the wave round. I believe Stan Hausman got a wave round, maybe Justin White, also not completely sure. But that did give us 11 cars, and Bryce Hunter, I thought, was back on the lead lap, but that 49 machine is currently 1 lap down as well. So is the 12 of Fred Lester. Sam Kohlhaas, we talked about, was 28 laps down. Steven Lachensky has taken it to the garage, I believe, here tonight. Was having a lot of trouble with connection as well, and we saw that play into that issue there that caused the first caution, so I think they might have just parked that number 15 machine.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's always a rough night when you're having connection issues. You don't want to mess anybody else up on the track. Going back to the battle for the lead, the 99 is starting to slide up the track a little bit. I don't know if he's driving it in too deep or if he's purposely trying to run that line, but I've seen him slide up quite a bit the last couple turns, and it's caused him to lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, he's about 0.4 of a second back. Almost identical lap times between the 1 and the 99 right now, and everybody else also once again kind of spread out just a little bit. Good close racing between the 971 of Nate Maurer and Noah Owens battling for 7th. They're separated by about 3 or 4 of a second, and once again you see Sam Kohlhaas here kind of fading through the field just a little bit. I believe Kohlhaas is on some older tires as well, running about 36 second lap times versus the leaders running 34s, but that is a tire set saved for later. Of course, he's 4 laps down, so really needs some help if he wants to make anything happen in terms of contending for the lead off of that extra set of tires. But that is a little bit less of a headache. So if you're anybody else in the field right now, you're kind of hoping that maybe the race goes green or that one more caution happens about halfway to the end, maybe about lap 100, 105, because you pit one more time and that's all the tires you've got here unless you saved them there. So it's a little bit of a headache for the crew chief, headache for the drivers, but if they go green and can run more than 40 laps, they should be okay.
Well, I did. This is Justin White here in the pits. This is Justin White here in the pits. We were watching the radar here, and it looks like rain's moving in, so we're only going to make it to lap 130. So 130 is the end of the race because the rain is moving in quickly.
Oh, thank you. Justin, for filling us in. All right, not something you see very often on iRacing, but rain in the area at Gateway. I believe the track's in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. So, big storm moving in, 1:30, so that will change the complexion of the race once again. Ignore the ticker. I wish I had. I've been meaning to figure out, and this would have been really funny, this graphic thing in the software I used to produce these races where I can draw like they do on TV. Could have crossed out the 160 and scribbled in 130. That would have been really fun. That's something to take back to the production truck after the race.
Back to who's on track and whatnot, I was watching, and it does appear that everybody else is shifting. It's just, for whatever reason, Jason and Philip, they got it figured out a little better. I do see I think the biggest difference is those two up front are better at lifting earlier on corner entry and not letting the car push up the track. This track, you have to be extremely patient on corner entry. You have to let off and really roll into it really early into the turn. You can't drive in deep. And I think that's what Jason and Philip are doing best, is they're being a lot more patient on entry and letting the car roll through the middle instead of fighting to stay on the bottom.
Yeah, they have already extended 2 seconds over Martin Pluth, who runs third. Not bad compared to how quickly they ran out the last time they started the race, which was at the very beginning. But that they are extending quite the lead once again. Philip Scott about a second back, though. He's struggling to keep up with Jason. I feel like this is what Jason Gracias has done well. It's kind of right before the middle of the run, when the long run speed and how well you save your tires really starts to show up. That's when Jason really takes off. And then you get more into the middle in the long run, and Philip kind of comes back a little bit, but at that point Jason has extended it so far that he is able to hold that lead. And of course, Jason Gracias looking for 2 wins in a row, once his second win of the season for the defending champion. And that would tie Adam Pettit for most wins of the season with 2. Of course, Philip Scott trying to do the same in second place as well.
Yeah, and it just looks like Jason's too consistent. He's not making any mistakes. He is just riding that bottom perfectly, and it's really frustrating for anybody behind because you're doing everything that you can to keep up, and the guy just doesn't make any mistakes, and that just puts more pressure on you to be perfect on every lap. And that's really hard to do at a track like this.
Yeah, it's so hard to hit those marks every single lap. And it's hard to find that balance as well between turns 1 and 2 and turns 3 and 4, because they are so different. Turns 1 and 2, you're hard on the brakes, really tight corner, versus turns 3 and 4, it's more flat, sweeping corner that you really don't use that much brake on. It's just hard to strike a balance between that, and that's another thing that we haven't really talked about. You have to manage the tires between those 2 corners and find a good line in both of them that doesn't, I guess, wear tires more in one than the other. It's really difficult to explain. But
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I know when I get on a long green flag run on a track like this, there's times where you almost like lose where you are on track. Like you forget, what turn am I going into? Am I going into turn 1 or turn 3? So that might play a part if you see this go green the rest of the race. Thankfully, they do have that, very obvious jut out on the back stretch. But sometimes you can lose your spot on the track when it gets so monotonous and you think you're going into a different corner than you are, and you really mess it up. So who knows? Maybe if we get a long green flag run, something like that comes into play. But if you got somebody like Jason up front, he looks like he's pretty dialed in. I wouldn't expect that from him.
yeah, I think Jason, he's just hitting his marks. I don't think he's too worried about doing anything too crazy up at the front of the pack. He's just trying to keep doing what he's doing there. And it's allowed him to be the fastest car on the racetrack. He scooted away almost 2 seconds from Philip Scott. The rest of the field is hanging in better this run than they did the last run. The top 5, Adam Pettit is 6 seconds back still of Jason Gracias, but Martin Pluth only 4 seconds back. He was 3, lost a lot of time somewhere. Now he's 3 seconds back again. So Martin Pluth, at least in the number 4 machine, he's figured it out a little bit better too, because he's at least trying to give Philip Scott a little bit of a run. Of course, he and Jeff Price still right by each other here for the 3rd position. This battle for the podium could get good here.
Yeah, it seems like Jeff has settled in a little bit and started to run back down for Martin Luke. So got a little too aggressive on that restart. Wanted to gain a little more ground than the car was capable of doing. So it's good to see him settle in now. Like you said, they haven't lost as much time this go around as they did last time. So maybe they got something figured out a little better. And if we do get a late race caution, you throw on a fresh set of tires, they might have something real aggressive for the leaders.
Yeah, they could, and we'll just have to wait and see if they can find that long run speed. If they spend too much time battling amongst themselves, though, they're really not going to have the chance to run up with the race leaders, so they'll have to settle it out quick if they're wanting to hopefully make the run up. But we've just seen Jason Grassi is so fast up front, and Philip Scott so fast as well, that's really... It's going to be way more difficult to do than it seems. You have Justin White pulling back off pit road now, 2 laps down. Green flag pit stop for White. If that was scheduled or not, I'm not quite sure. The first car I've seen go down, but we are at that point. Ah, that is very possible.
Yeah, he was like 30 seconds back before he pit, so I think he was a wave around car, hoping for a quick caution, and just wasn't able to get it and had to come in for some fresh tires.
And we'll see, though, because I was going to say we are at the point where I would start to consider pit stops, because we are 40 laps to go, racing to lap 130 here tonight. So, you know, that is, if you wanted to split the last stage, this run would be about the equivalent of what they did to start the race. Not a bad time to come in.
99's coming in right now as you say that. I was about to say, if I'm the leaders, I'm staying out as long as I can, saving that set of tires. You know, having that big of a lead, that really helps your strategy. But we'll see what the 99 does. See if this pulls Jason Grassi down pit road, knowing that his biggest competition, Philip Scott, has already pit.
Yeah, I think definitely if I'm Jason Gracias, I would have stayed out and waited and saved the set of tires. But if you're anyone else, you got to do something different at this point. The one has just been so dominant here tonight. He is not going to come down pit road. There is an access road they have to hit out going into turn number 3, so we can tell a little bit earlier than normal whether drivers are going to pit or not. Martin Plude in the number 4 goes down pit road, pitting from 2nd place. He was running 3rd before the 99 of Scott pitted. So I am very curious to see. You see Jason Gracias going down the backstretch. Yes, there comes.
Now, yep. Yeah, and he had to do that too, because if you're looking at the lap times, if he had stayed out, he would have lost his second a lap to the 99 of Philip Scott. So even waiting those couple laps, they're probably going to come out neck and neck, or even Jason right behind him. But those couple laps, they might make a difference at the end of the run for Jason to repass Philip and stay green flag the rest of the way.
And Philip could get around Jason here. I don't think that's out of the question. Of course, we saw Jason Gracias' pit crew nail the initial pit stop, but Philip Scott and Jason Gracias, both TNR drivers, they've got the same pit crew down in pit road. Not the same pit crew, but, you know, they're trained at the same facility, theoretically, if this were real-life racing. And we will see Jason Gracias still in the pit stall. Philip Scott hitting the start-finish line. Jason Gracias just now rolling. Philip headed for 1. Things could get interesting here. We'll go to the big camera here. Oh, this is going to be a drag race, but I think Philip Scott could get him. Did I speak too soon? Yes, I did. Man, that was tight.
Play for Jason very well. He is going to be in perfect position now, get up to speed. He's going to have a couple laps on Philip Scott, and all Philip can do is press as hard as he can, and Jason knows that. So he is in great position right now to hold on to this lead if it stays green and make it the rest of the race to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean, he is out there with slightly fresher tires than Philip Scott, still holds on to that race lead. I take it back, actually. Look at Martin Plude. Look at Martin Plude. He pitted earlier. Martin Plude actually passed Gracias in the pit cycle. Was that a 2-tire stop? I'm guessing from Martin Plude, because Jason's catching him quick, and the lap times are in the 35-second bracket. But that's a nice strategy call from the number 4. If it was, if he did take 4, man, that's a good pit crew. I want them. There goes Jason Gracias as well up the inside of the 4, but this has brought Philip Scott right to the 1 of Gracias as well. Of course, Philip gonna catch the 4 of Pluton exit. That'll help Jason Gracias. But this battle for the race lead just heating up as Jeff Price pits.
I'm really curious on the strategy call by the 4. I wonder if he didn't have a set of tires, because he was sitting good in the top 5. I think he was third or 4th. Yeah, I think he was 3rd before that. So I'm not sure why that strategy call, knowing that he's going to lose a lot of time the rest of the race here. But he definitely is a lot slower than the leaders here. But you were right. That did hold up Jason a little bit. Jason actually gave him a little boot, scoot, and boogie on the rear bumper. And He allowed Philip to catch up a little bit, but we still have a lot of guys that have stayed out. So, if we were to catch a caution before these guys pit, they can come in, take fresh tires, and have a huge advantage against the race leaders if there's enough green flag laps for them to be able to take advantage of that.
And I was going to throw you a similar scenario, too. I would guess Martin Plute took 2 tires, but if he didn't, and let's say a caution comes out, that's a set of tires that Jason Gracias and Philip Scott don't have in the pits. So,
well, then, I don't see that working for the 4 car, because he didn't have the speed to hang with them before, and if he did only take 2, he's only got 2 left, so he might be in a really I just don't see why you would have pit there and taken 2, seeing the position that he was in. I feel like he's probably out of tires. Could be wrong. I certainly don't see him pitting and not taking any tires in that situation, knowing it could very well have been the last pit stop of the race. But he is a lot slower than your front 2, so I'm not sure exactly what he did there, but we'll see if it plays out.
And things haven't cycled through yet on track either. 31 laps to go. Nate Maurer, you're looking at him here on screen. He is your race leader right now, has not pitted yet. The 88 of Noah Owens runs second, has not pitted yet. 69 of Dominic Tesoro has not pitted yet, and the 29 of Ira Kohlhaas just pulled on back on track. Just took the pit stop there for the number 29 machine. So Nate Maurer continues to stay out as well, hoping for a caution at this point.
Well, and he might not even be hoping for that. If they have as much in the fuel tank as he said, he can make it the rest of the way if the tires hold up. The only thing I wouldn't be confident in is Jason Gracias is only 21 seconds back, and he's probably catching him about a second a lap right now, which would give him the lead with about 8 laps to go. So maybe he's trying to stretch it the rest of the way, but I guess time will tell. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's about a second and a half a lap.
Oof.
Jason Gracias is gaining. It is a significant amount of time, especially to hold off for 30 more laps, but if they can make it, why not? You know, you're not going to win the race if you go down pit. Well, you could, but it would take probably a caution to win the race going down pit road. Why not? You know, you're out here to win races. Nate Maurer has a win on the season at Iowa. He's looking for 2 wins on the season as well, but Noah Owens in the 88 says, no, that's enough for me, and he goes down pit road. That leaves just Dominic Tesoro and Nate Maurer still out on the racetrack, having yet to pit. And it would be Jason Gracias leading the race if they pit and things cycled through.
Well, I don't blame Dominic at all, sitting there in second place in the 69 car. He had gotten the first lucky dog of the race earlier on, and he's just trying to do anything he can strategy-wise to flip this race for himself. So he's actually sitting in a pretty good position. I like the strategy call from his standpoint, where he knows he was farther back, he had gotten the wave around, just didn't have the speed to run up front. So for him to go complete opposite of the leaders here, this is a good call, and he's sitting pretty good right now. Who knows what happens? You get a late race caution. I don't know if he has that last set of tires left. I imagine he doesn't, but if you get a caution and you're in the top 5, at least you have something you can fight for.
I think, I think he's pitted twice. So I think he should have a set. I think he and Nate Maurer both have a set of tires in the pits. Oh, but caution!
There's a caution. This is gonna get good now. This is gonna get good. If you're right and Nathan and Tesoro have tires, this is perfect. They pit now. They'll have 26, well, about 22 laps to go. That's plenty of time to make up the ground on those leaders that have old tires.
And the 49 of Bryce Hunter just has not been able to avoid trouble tonight. This time it was a self-spin out of 4. Got loose, slams the infield wall. Jeff Price came along too and got a little piece of the 49. But unfortunately, bad night for Bryce Hunter. It goes from bad to even worse here. Let's go on board with him here to get a view of this one. Just got a little loose, running up against the wall again. Maybe it was a little trouble upshifting. Let's see. Yeah, that car didn't want to go up a gear. When he did, it just snapped.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on the leaders right now just to get an idea. And we do have the first 2 going down pit road, so I think you're right. I think they had an extra set of tires.
And that'll make things
Yes,
interesting.
it will. Jason's staying out and Philip's staying out, which means they do not have a set of tires. So Nathan Maurer, we're going to see where he comes out of pit road. We saw it was a 1.5 seconds difference on those lap times. Now, it won't be quite that drastic because they haven't been on those tires, Philip and Jason, for that many laps. But I would imagine it's already a 0.5 second a lap difference. They're going to go green with 22, 21 laps to go, something like that. That'll be plenty of time for these guys on fresh tires to track them down, especially with only 10 cars on the lead lap. They're not going to have to go through a lot of people to get to the leaders.
Yeah, no, they're not. And look at Nate Maurer's other win on the season at Iowa. He got that lead off a strategy call.
Yep.
Here tonight.
I smell an upset. I smell an upset. Our 2 fastest cars of the night are not sitting in a good position, even though they're 1-2.
This, I cannot emphasize enough for all of you out in the chat.
Oh, and Nathan's going down pit road right now. That's really...
Is he? No, I've got him out on track.
Nathan and...
I got Justin White down pit road right now. I've got Nate Maurer on track.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It looked like it was on a different car. It's the 9 car that went down. My apologies. I was super confused with that. That's a lap down car that went down pit road. I apologize.
Topping off fuel or something. I mean, he could do that, but we'll see. Things are going to cycle out here. This time they cross the start-finish. And they will start... Yeah, he'll start 6th.
This is
Tesoro starts 8th, and this is not a situation where they they're gonna have to go through lap cars either. Exactly. They are behind the leaders.
Nathan has to be careful though. He's gonna be super excited. He knows he has it in. It's all in his hands. He knows that, so he needs to be patient, know and understand. He's got a little over 20 laps to go. It's kind of a long track, 35 seconds ish a lap. So. Not a traditional short track in that sense. So he just needs to be patient, know he's faster than these guys, and just don't get in trouble passing them. If he plays this clean, there's no reason he shouldn't win this race right here. So he needs to just do the right thing and see if he can get himself up to the field. We got Dominic Tesoro, who's going to also be sitting in 8th place. So he'll be 1 row back on the high lane. And the high lane might work for them being on faster tires.
Look at this. Also, Martin Plute down pit road. I believe the 4 car has fresh tires. I think he did actually save that set because he came down pit road. That is a strategy call I would not have had the guts to made. But
no, I wouldn't have done that. I was so confused by that. So I don't know if he had 2 left or if he had 4, but either way, this should play out really good for these people who just pitted and took tires. And you're going to see this from the leaders, too. They know that 3 rows back, there's fresh tire. Well, really 2 rows back, there's fresh tires. So they're going to be going all out right here. So I wouldn't put it past the front row maybe having an issue, too.
They're going to race hard. Oh, is there a go-kart track in the infield? Little things to distract us here up in the booth. But, yeah, this is going to be interesting. I mean, Jason Gracias, been lights out quick. Dominated this race. That is a fast race car. If you were those guys on fresh tires, you definitely have an advantage, but you can't burn those tires up too quick fighting your way through the field at a kind of gets rid of that advantage. Same thing, Philip Scott, super fast here tonight, but they're coming in. Jason Gracias, 15 laps on tires, Philip Scott, 17. Versus those other cars, 2 rows back on fresh tires, and Jason Gracias says, let's get this going. He is off.
You can already see the speed by Nathan. He pulled right up to the 17. He went down to the high lane now, going into turn 1. You got the 4 car 2 of Martin Lute, runs high.
3 wide.
17 just doesn't have the speed in those tires. You can see it. Nathan already up in 4th place. That's the car we're going to want to keep an eye on as he looks to attack Jeff Price immediately going into this turn. Going to run the high lane, get that run. Gus has to be patient. He has the car. He only has to fight the 4 car Martin Lute. See what you can do.
Yeah, and Martin Plute not letting him get away with it either. Neither is Julian Tesoro. Or I keep saying Julian Tesoro. It's Dominic Tesoro this week here. Those 3 all running bumper to bumper. Nate Maurer behind Jeff Price right now. Jason Gracias was actually faster that last lap, but of course Nate had to battle with some traffic, and he's having to battle with Martin Plute right now. Plute goes to the high line.
Yeah,
that is not what they wanted to do.
No, they definitely don't want to fight each other too much. They really should be working together to get to the front and then duke it out from there, because the more that they battle each other, the more that's going to help the leader right now. They're going to use up their tires quicker and get them hot and heated up. That's not what you want to do right here. But, Martin looks like he's going to try to clear on the outside. It's a big wiggle and slide up by the 99 of Philip Scott in second. That's going to bunch up the 14 into the 4. This is going to get interesting. What are they going to do here?
Jeff Price was all over the racetrack. Squirrely, I think he had Martin Plute in his back bumper as well. I think he pulled up and said
14
no.
Slid way up the track and just got into the wall, trying to push it in too hard, fighting off those cars with fresh tires. So now we got Martin Plute in the 4 and Nathan Maurer fighting for 3rd place. They are on fresher tires, looking to track down Philip Scott and Jason as we have 18 laps to go here.
Yes, they are getting close to Philip Scott, and this next time by, they'll have more clean track. We'll get a better depiction of the lap time. Jason Gracias ran a 34.808 this last lap. That's only 4/10 off his best lap of the race, so that car is fast. I'm really curious to see Nate Maurer, Martin Plute, and Dominic Tesoro's lap times when they cross the line here. Well, let's see. The race leader, Jason Gracias, runs a 34.998. Nate Maurer, fastest car on the racetrack, but not by much as he looks up the inside of Philip Scott.
He's got to clear him quick. He knows he needs to make this happen in this turn right here if he wants any chance of catching Jason, because Jason is still running really good lap times, like you said. And he makes that clear right there. Martin looks to take advantage as well, as they both are going to clear the 99 of Philip Scott. And now we have 2 cars on fresh tires looking to track down this leader. About 15 laps to go, 16.
And Tesoro wasn't able to get around with Plute and Maurer, so Tesoro will still have to fight with Philip Scott here. That last time by Nate Maurer, about 1/10 of a second faster than your race leader, Jason Gracias, but he has a 3/4 of a second gap to work with here, and he has 17 laps to hold them off, but it will be difficult. Like you said, these drivers on fresh tires. Nate got close to the wall there, though. He is pushing hard in that 971.
Both need to be careful because they're both pushing really hard, and you can see it in the middle of the turn. They're sliding up big time. The 4's back end kicked out a lap ago. He pushed it in so hard. They can't keep these tires up too much. They will start to even out some. Their best chance, keep them cool, just hit your marks, don't over push it, and you will catch it. But if they keep pushing hard and they try to fight each other, they're not going to get to them. They know the fight for the win is in 2nd and 3rd place right now, but they got to get to the leader before they can make that happen. So if they keep pushing this hard, you're going to see that lead start to grow a little bit by Jason, as it just did right there, 1/10 of a second. They got to settle in, hit their marks, and just focus on what's in front of them.
And pushing hard, not always faster. To technical track like Gateway, it's about being smooth and hitting your marks. And we talked about, they're just really excited behind the wheel. You know, it looked like Jason Gracias had this race open and shut, and then a caution comes out, and you have a great chance to contend for this race win, but you can't get too excited. If I'm the crew chief up in the booth, I'm saying that, hey, hit your marks. You've got fresher tires. And again, all that time,
That was
Nate
a much
faster.
better lap by Nathan. Yep, he calmed down, hit his marks, and he gained 0.2 of a second there. He's kind of running a lane up off of the bottom, which has been working for him really well. He knows now. He's like, all right, I got no pressure from the 4. All I got to do is hit my marks, and I got this one car in the bag. So now that the pressure is off of him from Martin Ploot, look for him to make this catch for the lead really quickly.
Yeah, on board with Nate Maurer. You can see that gap slowly getting smaller and smaller. We'll see the times again this time by about 1/10 of a second quicker. That gap now down to 0.4 of a second between Nate Maurer and Jason Gracias, and you see it closing still. Jason had the rear end all out of sorts. He is pushing hard in that number 1 machine now because he knows Nate Maurer is coming. Everybody pushing hard.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see what Nathan's doing. He's being very easy on corner entry, which is what he needs to do to get that run off to the corner with these fresh tires. And like you said, the 1 car is giving it everything he has right now. He knows that the 1 is at a disadvantage, and the 1 knows he's at a disadvantage. So if he just hits his marks, he's got 12 laps to finish this off. And right there, he makes a lot of ground up as the 1 slides up a little bit. He's going to be on his bumper here in the next lap.
He has caught Jason Gracias. At this point, I would say that the 971 is there. He's just about 2 or 3 car lengths behind race leader Jason Gracias, and you see him run higher, going to try and build the run down the front straightaway.
Got a huge run.
Yeah, we'll see here. He should be able to get close into 1, and Martin Ploot has fallen off of these 2. I think he just pushed it a little too hard and already heated the tires up too much. And that's a sigh of relief for Nate Maurer, because now it's just you and Jason Gracias, and you don't have to worry about another car on fresh tires.
And Nathan doesn't want to sit behind him too long. Once you get right up on somebody's bumper, it can change your let-off points and how you attack the corner. So he doesn't want to sit behind him too long and risk messing up his own tires and giving Jason a chance to cool down. He needs to make this happen pretty quick but efficiently to make this race a win for him.
Yeah, if he sits here in this position, eventually the tires are gonna even out a little bit more. You've got to be quick about it, and you see him
on the high line.
Yes,
there he is. He's got it. He has got it. Oh, the 1 fights back good. He's got to clear him here. He's got to clear him here. If he clears him here, he's got this race into the bag if he makes no mistakes, and he knows it. The 1's gonna throw it in here, though, I bet.
Jason Gracias was side drafting down the back straightaway, sends it in up the inside, but Nate Maurer holds strong in the outside lane, coming out at turn 4. 9 laps to go, and they were so close again, side by side to the line. Nate had the
battle
lead.
by the 1.
Yeah, and he's not giving up. Don't think for a second Jason Gracias is just going to hand this lead over either.
He is doing a phenomenal job on the bottom here for having tires. Nathan's not really sure how to clear him here. You can see he tries to drive it a little deeper into the corner, but the 1 car is just, he puts those left sides right below the apron when he goes into the turn, and I think that really helps him hook into the corner. Oh, a bump from Nathan.
Oh, making contact now here in this battle for the lead, but Jason Gracias was able to get out in front and clear, and very impressive defense. And that is exactly what Nate Maurer did not want to do, because now he's got those tires hot from battling for the lead, although Jason Gracias sideways out of the corner, but Nate Maurer unable to take advantage of it.
Nate needs to settle in and let the tires cool down for a lap or 2 and make another run at it. But I'm really impressed by the ability of Jason to be able to hold him off on the low line like that. I thought once Nate got to his outside, it was a done deal.
Yeah, I thought too he'd be able to pinch down Gracias on the inside, get his tires even hotter, and be able to scoot around in the outside lane. But Jason's actually opened up a little bit of a lead now over the 971 of Maurer here, and they have raced 2.5 seconds in front of Martin Ploot in third. Impressive pace from these 2 drivers. 7 laps to go, coming to 6 laps to go. Remember, if you're just tuning in, they're racing to lap 130 here because of the rain moving in the area. The NSRA wants to end it under green, so 130 laps is the finish here. That's why we're kind of getting so excited up here in the booth, because this is the battle for the win, and Nate Maurer just a little bit quicker there, but the times are only 2/100ths apart. It's getting close, and I don't see him making that run right now. He could just be saving it up again, though.
Yeah, he might have used it up a little bit. I'm surprised how quick those tires can get used up. You could see it with Martin Clute 2.5 seconds back. He used them up real fast, so I wouldn't be too surprised if Nathan has used them up a little bit too much to make another run on Jason here.
And I mean, if Jason Gracias pulls out this win here, that's just a testament to how good he is here tonight and how good that one machine is, because he is trying to hold off a driver with significantly fresher tires than him. About 10 laps, 11 laps fresher are the tires of Nate Maurer. It doesn't sound like much, but that's a massive difference. But right now he's making it work. Of course, Nate Maurer again was slightly faster, but with only 5 laps to go, coming to 4 this time, Nate Maurer is just running out of time. He's 4/10ths back. He needs to be making up a lot more time than that, as they ran dead even laps that last time.
Yeah, one car slides up the track a little bit there. That's going to be an opportunity for Nathan to make a little ground up, but he slides a little coming out of the turn. I just don't think he's going to have enough to get there.
It's going to be close here for sure, but he's got to get it going. I think Jason Gracias did exactly what we said. Nate Maurer, he made the surge, but Gracias was able to hold him off, and that kind of heated Nate's tires up and got him a little bit too hot to make another charge. 3 laps to go, and you see Nate Maurer just having to sit back there between 3 or 4/10ths back. Good through the center there. We'll see if he can keep that gap closed up a little bit. He did. He closed about 0.5 through turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he can keep it up. If he can just get there and put pressure on Jason Gracias and force a mistake, that might be all he needs. But right now he's sitting 2 car lengths back. That's not enough with 2 laps to go.
That one lap that he really rode the white line on the bottom was the lap that looked pretty good for him, but he went back to the higher part of the track. It just doesn't quite look like he's going to get there. He's going to be happy to get second, all things considered, but I think he's going to be disappointed knowing he about had him cleared, and he just wasn't quite able to make it work.
Well, we are going to see here as they work their way through turns 3 and 4, and they're going to be taking the white flag this next time by the line for Jason Gracias. He has... Oh, Nate, into the wall. That's about going to do it here.
Yep.
Nate Maurer got into the wall out of turn 4, just trying to give it everything he had, and that is going to open up a significant gap between him and Jason Gracias, who is, if there was any doubt how good that one car has been tonight, him holding off fresher tires for the win just says it all about how good Jason Gracias is here tonight as he rounds 3 and 4 for the final time. It is going to be Jason Gracias picking up his 2nd win in a row. 2 wins on the season for driver of the number 1 machine. What a run. What a race.
Yeah, that was certainly impressive. I feel for Nathan, though. That was that's a heartbreak. He probably felt like he had that in the bag.
And I believe, we'll see, well, Martin Clute is stopped. I'm going to wait for some official word from the NSRA who finished 3rd, because I believe that was a bit contested, because again, scoring does not lock like it normally does when they cross the line, because iRacing still says there's another 30 laps to go in the race. So I'll get with NSRA just to make sure we interview the right drivers and get a correct finishing order here. But Jason Gracias is going to burn it down after just such an impressive run. I can't say it enough how good he was. He drove away 20, 30 seconds from the other drivers in the top 5 so fast here tonight.
Yeah, definitely a dominating victory for him for sure. I'm sure that's going to be a great interview. He should be pumped up after a win like that.
Yeah, and we are going to step away here for just a second, let him do his celebration if he's got any more in him. We will be right back with some post-race interviews here. Stay with us here on the World Racing Network. All right, we're back live with you here on the World Racing Network. We were trying to sort out who finished third, and in doing that, I have uncovered a little bit of an incident here in the closing stages. We've definitely got to take a look at here. Watch the battle for third between Martin Plute and Philip Scott. They make contact. There goes Dominic Tesoro to the third place finish here at Gateway. That's impressive. And we'll actually get him here in the booth right now. Dominic Tesoro, Mitchell and Tyler in the WRN booth. You got a copy?
Copy.
Well, we just watched your pass for the third place finish there on the replay. Take us through the closing laps and being able to come down and take some tires there late.
Man, that was a perfect strategy for sure. Just kind of, waiting and waiting. I figured there was going to be a caution, and sure enough, there was. Took minimum fuel, 4 tires, and repaired what we needed to repair, and just drove the hell out of the thing.
I mean, you definitely put together a great race here. Started in the 15th position, came home third. How'd you like the track tonight? Did you kind of have a good feel for it?
I'll be honest, man. I just slapped together the sim rig like 2 nights ago, so we're out here just doing what we can. But no, I do not like the track whatsoever. I've had like an hour of practice, maybe less than that. I didn't even have the invite to the session, prior to 30 minutes of joining. So no practice, but like I said, it was fun, man, for sure. We're gonna do the truck series tomorrow night, so we'll see how that goes as well.
Yeah, definitely. And to everybody out watching too, the truck series, the NSRA the NSRA Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series, races at Gateway as well, I believe, tomorrow night here. So make sure to tune into that over on 3 Wide TV. Next week, though, Dominic, is Darlington. Kind of similar shape to this track. Another really challenging racetrack. What are your thoughts going into that one?
I guess we'll just see how it goes, man. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna hope for the best. Hopefully my brother Julian will be there, so we'll have a nice little battle.
And I think I did call you by his name a couple times as well, so I do want to apologize for that.
Good, man. All good.
Before I let you go, though, do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, man. I mean, Tesoro Motorsports. Our goal is to kind of make that a real profitable business. So, we're gonna be adding some drivers, doing a lot more leagues and a lot more series. So hopefully that's up and running pretty soon. So yeah, that'd be it.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with that as well, and thanks for stopping by and talking with us again. Congratulations for the third place finish, and picked it up in exciting fashion here tonight at Gateway.
All right, brother. Thank you.
That was your third place finisher here tonight, Dominic Tesoro. Now Tyler is caught up with second place finisher Nate Maurer.
Hey, Nate, copy?
I got you guys. How you doing?
All right, man. Well, first of all, congratulations on your second place finish, but I know deep down you want a little more than that. You had the strategy fall perfectly into the palm of your hands there, being able to pit on that last stop and taking 4 tires. So walk me through that restart and what was going through your mind once you caught the leader there.
Just a disgrace that I couldn't even. I mean, I had like 12 to 15 lap fresher tires on him, and I couldn't get around them. I hate this track. I shouldn't say I hate this track. I'm just not good here. I don't know what to do on either side of the track. I shift in 1 and 2, and sometimes I shift in 3 and 4. The restart, I knew it was going to be. It's kind of far back, but actually it was a very fun restart there. Jeff Price was up there in the mix, and I knew he was on old tires. And then me and Martin just raced too hard, and I think that's kind of what helped even out my tires with Jason when I got to him. And yeah, me and Jason made a little contact there, and then I gave him a little bumper coming out of 4 there, hoping to get him a little loose. But after that, he was gone. But no reason why I shouldn't have won this race with having a lot fresher tires.
Yeah, once we saw you get cleared with Martin there, we had mentioned the same thing about you guys battling too much. It might wear those tires. Once you got clear of him, you ran down Jason pretty quick, and I thought for sure once you got to his outside, you were going to have it. But you guys both held good lines, and somehow he was able to fight on that bottom. It just just wasn't meant to be, I suppose. But either way, it was a great race for you, and you should feel happy about your second place finish. So, you got anything you got in store for Darlington next week, or is that not another track that you care for too much?
No, Darlington's probably my it's probably one of my favorites. I actually beat AJ Allmendinger probably about a year and a half on here at Darlington Xfinity Cars, and had a good little chat after him at the race, saying doing pretty good there. But now I love Darlington, but I'm sure Jason Gracias will everybody be looking out his back bumper next week.
Alrighty, well, again, congratulations on your second place finish. You got any shout outs?
Shout out to you guys for broadcasting this. Shout out for Justin for taking on this league here Thursday nights. Hopefully, we can get a few more people out here. I know my car is currently not sponsored, but I did not want to lose points for not having the contingencies on here for this league. So I somehow messed up my paint, but the contingencies are on and everything, so it should be good there. But I got a shout out to my teammates Bryce Hunter and Justin B. White in here, and also Doug Neal didn't make it tonight. He's my sponsor, Simbox. So if you need a button box, hit up Simbox PC on Facebook.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations, and thank you for the interview.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
You and I both. When that caution flew at 1-0 whatever, I was just dejected. I needed to play the pit strategy game for the guys I was racing. So once I got out ahead of Philip again, and Martin was just a car length in front of me, I thought I was in good position, and then that caution flew, and boy, if I was a hot air balloon, I would have hit the ground so fast. But thankfully, I don't know how I did it. I managed to make these old tires work and hold off a hard charging Nate Maurer for a win. So pumped to get these TNR guys back in victory lane for a second week in a row. There's something that Garrett's been putting in these cars. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you guys, so he told me to keep it on the hush hush. Um, I've been putting time into trying to get better at road course racing. I'm not anywhere by means to the level of like a Philip Scott or a Dominic. Uh, but I've been getting better. And this track with their braking zones kind of reminded me like a road course. So I'm hoping that my consistency here of practicing hitting my same line, same point every lap will translate over to whenever we hit a actual road course in this series. So yeah, I don't know. I just for whatever reason these old worn out tracks seem to suit my driving style. I'm not a hot lapper by any mean. If it was a green white checkered, I probably would have lost this. So call me Jeff Burton. I don't know. Darlington's very um, being fast at Darlington isn't everything. It's more of a mental game of hitting your line, not hitting the wall, and trying not to burn off that right front. So we'll see. Definitely top 5 for sure, maybe. But TNR, Garrett Gleason, and the boys back at the shop, and I'm sorry, the folk back at the shop, boys and girls, have been doing a great job of prepping these cars. I'm sure Philip Scott, Josh Schobel, Mike Tellier, Vince Valvano, Jason Shu, whoever comes out next week will all have a fast piece too. So we'll see. Hopefully we can keep this TNR choo-choo train chugging along. I knew it was coming up next, Mitchell. Don't worry, it's been a long day for everybody. As always, just thanks to Max Graphics, Chris Darling, for always giving me some killer paint schemes. If you guys need any graphical work done, check out maxgraphics.co, maxgrafix.co. Quality work, actually beyond quality, professional work at a really good price. Thanks to Beer Street Journal, Stan Hausman, and all the sponsorships he brings to the league. Thanks to Beer Street Journal, we're able to race here on World Racing Network. So everyone, make sure you check out the website, give him some clicks. It helps a lot with ad revenue, and let them support us in the future. And then thanks to all the other sponsors that are a part of this league: Brookstone Animal Hospital, Taz Racing Customs, Sharon Our Craftworks, Eclipse Photography, Stay Tuned Sports, Simbox, and lastly, thanks to NSRA admins Justin White and Martin Pluth for putting together a league and making it a fun place to race. And thanks to you, Mitchell, you, and Tyler for the broadcast. I'm going to watch this in bed later.
Well, thank you for stopping by and talking with us again, Jason. Congratulations on a great run tonight. We look forward to seeing you try and go 3 in a row next week at Darlington.
Thanks, everyone at home. Hope you have a good night. Happy Friday.
That is going to do it for our post-race interviews here. Thank you, Will Radcliffe, in the chat for mentioning the fact I left my mic muted. That's not a good thing, but you still got to hear Jason Gracias, and that's the important part, because after 2 hours of listening to me, Tyler, people kind of get tired of it, probably.
Well, I just gotta say it was a great race, great ending. I did not see that one going that way, so great race for Jason Gracias there, finishing it off after dominating all night, and a great late charge and effort by Nathan Maurer.
Yeah, he put together a great run. Like you said, when that caution came out, I kind of thought it was going to go the other way, and we were going to see Nate Maurer pick up his second win on the season. But instead, it was Jason Gracias picking up the win, and well, I was going to run through the finishing order, but everything is kind of jumbled up still after all that kind of post-race stuff. We know Jason Gracias finished in first, Nate Maurer finished in second, and Dominic Tesoro finished third. And then from there, the standings get a little bit shaky from what I'm looking at, because I have Jeff Price winning the race, and we know Jeff Price didn't win the race, so not completely sure how the order went. Thank you, iRacing, very much for that one. But again, for all the sponsors here as well in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series here in the National Sim Racing Association, all of them are linked down in the video description, but I'm going to go ahead and read through them anyways for you all. Of course, Beer Street Journal, who sponsors the series, couldn't do it without all their support. Max Graphics as well, Stay Tuned Sports, and again, make sure to check out the Stay Tuned Sports Podcast Truck Series tomorrow night on 3Wide TV. They will also be right here at Gateway. Then Simbox, Brookstone Animal Hospital. We got to give 2 of those away. I think I forgot to pop it up the second time, but Brookstone Animal Hospital sponsors the Lucky Dog Award, as you see a nice slow-mo of Stan Hausman's Beer Street Journal car going by on screen. Great sponsor placement. Then as well, we also have Taz Racing Customs, J&R Craftwork, and Eclipse Photography. And again, as always, make sure to go follow the National Sim Racing Association on their Facebook and Twitter to see some of those Eclipse Photography photos. They are beautiful. But Tyler, before we go here at the end of the broadcast, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, not really. It was just a great race. It was, slow, quiet start with all the long green flag runs, but it had a great ending.
Yes, it did, and we look forward to seeing you all next week again, same time, same place, right here on the World Racing Network, where we are going to be running at the Lady in Black, Darlington. But until then, I hope you all stay safe, have fun, and for myself, Tyler Belanger, and everyone else at the World Racing Network, we will see you next time.